Hello agents, and welcome back to another daily episode of Beginner and Returning Players Guide series, your daily farming guide for Tuesday, February 23rd. In this series, I cover a lot. We got the targeted loot map, Dark Zone exclusives to farm for, as well as named items, highlights for the weekly vendor resets, including Cassie and New York City's Haven, and build and farming suggestions as well. This is Shadow Gaming, and if you're new to the channel or enjoy this video, consider pressing that thumbs up and subscribe buttons below, and if not, go ahead and give it a thumbs down, and make sure to hit the bell notification icon to all so you never miss a daily morning video. And always remember to comment below if you have any questions or feedback whatsoever. Otherwise, let's get this video started. Alright agents, so starting off in the dark zones and of course vendor reset highlights, which are always in that big bottom left overlay. They just reset today, and I definitely would recommend the contractor's gloves at the clan vendor, the safety distance at the White House, and the baker's dozen at the theater. Now over here in DZ West, we got gloves targeted loot. So the DZ exclusive here is the death grip gloves, the 511 tactical ones with 10% armor on kill, which goes on my favorite Hunter's Fury build that I'll put in the top title card right now. And then of course the second one is the BTSU data gloves. They grant you overcharge and any teammate that's at skill tier 6. They're definitely really good for any skill damage or, skill healing builds. Now over here in DZ South, skill attachments I wouldn't even bother farming for, but in the DZ East we do have Alp Summit, and you could farm for the percussive maintenance with perfect tech support here, although I don't know if I recommend it because of the DZ loot quality. But that's going to give you, I believe, 25% skill damage for 27 seconds, and I really like this backpack, especially if you roll it with skill haste and skill damage. But that's really about it. Let's go check out the invaded missions this week that just reset, and of course the north side. Alright agents, north side, and of course invaded missions starting first. So we got Bank HQ, Camp White Oak, DCD HQ, and the two strongholds is Roosevelt Island, and of course Tidal Basin Stronghold. Now over here at Camp White Oak today, we got backpacks as targeted loot, so I would definitely recommend farming for the Memento with kill confirmed, or the Acosta's go bag with one in the hand. That one's good for skill damage and skill healing builds and granting overcharge. But if anyone's looking for that Memento backpack, I always get this question: just farm backpack targeted loot. You could also change it to backpack targeted loot at the summit, but I don't really like the summit unless you're playing with 4 players and a bunch of directives on and you're all in sync. Otherwise, I still prefer outside the summit anyway. But remember that the Memento was a season 3, like level 90 or 100 reward. So after that, it joined the general targeted loot pool under backpack targeted loot. And then really all we got next is like Tip of the Spear at Maggie National Zoo. That's, for increasing specialization weapon damage. I always recommend using the Survivalist specialization, which is the crossbow, so you could just strip off armor on raids and legendaries. Otherwise, the card custom pistol, as a DZ exclusive. So don't farm pistol targeted loot for the TDI card custom pistol. You cannot get it to drop from an NPC, only from named items or, like a named item reward from like a weekly project. And that's really all that's it, in the north side. Kenley College is closed, some may pick your own target to lose, so let's go check out the west, then east, then finally New York City. Alright agents, west side target loot highlights, starting off with the gear sets. We got Foundry Bulwark over here at the White House. So remember, the chest and backpack are Iron Horse raid exclusive. You cannot farm for them outside of the Iron Horse raid on normal difficulty. So instead of that, just get an Emperor's Guard knee pads with 1% armor regen. Remember, those are DZ exclusive, and 1 piece of Bellstone armory for more armor regen. I think it's 1% more armor regen, and stack into armor regen. Health is a dead stat. And then next up, Aces and Eights at West Potomac Park. Great, wonderful headshot gear set. So it's easy to put together, right? You got 3-piece Aces and Eights, then 2-piece Heraldo holding, one of them being a backpack with Composure, or my favorite, Vigilance, and the Chain Killer chest piece with Perfect Headhunter. And you're gonna wanna run that with the Mantis, and then Ecam's Long Stick with Perfect Ranger, or the White Death, or whatever you want as the secondary, but you're mainly gonna be using the Mantis for like a 20 million headshot. And then next up, we got Negotiator's Dilemma, Tidal Basin Stronghold. I'll make sure to put my favorite double LMG build in the top title card right now. That is 4 pieces of Negotiator's Dilemma, the Coyote's Mask, and then of course the Contractor's Gloves or Grupo Sombro Gloves, and you could run the Pestilence or the Bullet King. And then lastly, for gear sets, we got Ongoing Directive at Roosevelt Island. So this is a good chance to run it on Legendary to try to find the best rolls possible. And I got 2 bleed damage builds for you guys that are outstanding. The first one is my favorite, it's Ridgeway's Pride, 4-piece ongoing directive, and the Anarchist Cookbook with Perfect Wicked. That's going to give you 18% weapon damage for 27 seconds after applying a status effect, which you constantly do with ongoing directive. And then of course I run the Carnage with Perfect Sadist, and then the Scorpio Exotic Shotgun with Septic Shock on both of these builds. And the second one is 4-piece ongoing directive, a Badger Tough backpack with Creeping Death on it, and the Vile Mask. Both of those are very good like bleed DPS builds. I highly recommend them for sure. Now for normal targeted loot, let's start off with Petrov at Lincoln Memorial. You can farm for the Contractor's Gloves, that gives you 8% damage to armor on them, so I would recommend getting those for any LMG build, or if you're stacking damage to armor with Walker Harrison Code, Lady Death, or ARs. And definitely farm it today for sure, because Lincoln Memorial is a great place to farm anything really. Or you could just pick it up at the clan, but the rolls are kind of bad. The weapon handling on it, I would change to crit chance or crit damage. And then next up we got Badger Tough at DARPA Research Labs. You can farm the 0F's chest piece with Perfect Unbreakable. So every time your armor breaks, you repair 100% of it, and that's for a 55-second cooldown. And then of course you could also farm that Badger Tough backpack with the Creeping Death talent today here at DARPA Research Labs as well. And as far as chests at the Pentagon, this is a Black Tusk mission, but you can get 2 exotics, right? You got the Tardigrade, which is True Sun, so it's not going to give you that extra 3% drop rate chance, but that's a great chest piece, that is really supportive of your group, and it's almost just like Perfect Unbreakable, but for your whole team. And then you got the Ridgeway's Pride, but you need to have completed the quest first. And if you need help with that, there's a step-by-step guide on my website, shadowgaming.network, that you can definitely go check out. And then of course we got knee pads at DCDHQ, so you got 2 exotics, the Ninja Bike Messenger knee pads and Sawyer's knee pads, and they're both almost opposites. So with the Ninja Bike Messenger knee pads, it's like for run and gun builds, vault or cover to cover, and you get 25% bonus armor, and it instantly reloads your equipped weapon. And then for Sawyer's, what it does is you sit still and you get 1% weapon damage every second, up to 30% weapon damage, and as soon as you flinch or move, it drops down by 1% all the way to 0, and then it waits for you to sit still again to start raising the bar again. You can also farm for the Fox's Prayer knee pads with 8% damage targets out of cover. I recommend any and all agents have at least 1 or 2 pair of these, but I would farm Overlord for them if it's available today. And then we got Empress over here at Foggy Bottom. I'll put my favorite turret and drone build in the top title card right now. That is 3-piece Empress, 2-piece Hana-Yu in the waveform holster, kinetic momentum on the chest piece, and the force multiplier backpack. Of course, I run that with the capacitor and the harmony, but I've been doing a little bit of, messing around with this build lately and using the percussive maintenance, and I like it a lot more. You'll have seen in the gameplay footage in the intro that I'm using it. So I might put out a new build video on that before the best of build series comes out. And then also remember, you can get Caesar's Guard that comes with Perfectly Skilled, and the battery pack with Perfectly Calculated. Those are 2 named Empress items that you can get outside of the Dark Zone. The Empress does not have a DZ exclusive. And last couple we got is rifles at Constitutional Hall. So you got the Merciless and the Diamondback. Both of those are the rifle exotics. The Merciless, you need brace on your chest piece, weapon handling all over the place, or 3-piece striker. And then of course, the Diamondback just hits really hard, but only has 5 shots in its clip or magazine. So it's good in PvE and PvP, but it's just only got 5 shots. Otherwise, I'd highly recommend getting that Baker's Dozen with Perfect Lucky Shot and the Surge with Perfect Spike. The Harmony with Perfect Instinct is a DZ exclusive, but those first 2 are definitely worth farming for. And then we got Providence Defense at Bank HQ. You can farm the Sacrifice with Perfect Glass Cannon. That amplifies, meaning multiplicative damage, the best type of damage in this game. It'll amplify all of your damage by 30%, but it also amplifies all incoming damage to you by 60%. So you shred like paper, you're extremely squishy. I prefer Intimidate or Obliterate over this. But a lot of agents out there like it, especially on their turret and drone or skill damage builds as well. It works, especially with the Technician, you can keep the weapon damage core as well. And then the last 2 we got is Bellstone over here at Federal Emergency Bunker. So you can farm the Everyday Carrier at Perfectly Efficient. Now I never use that, so please comment below if you do and what build you use it on. That would be awesome. I have no idea what to use it for. And then of course the Liquid Engineer backpack with Perfect Bloodsucker is a DZ exclusive, so please don't farm for it outside of the Dark Zone. It won't drop from an NPC. And last but not least, in West End, we got Shotgun. So you got 2 exotics, the Sweet Dreams with the Sandman talent and Scorpio with Septic Shock. The Sweet Dreams is good for skill and tank builds. You can melee one-hit kill any red or purple barred enemy, and the cooldown's only 15 seconds. And the Scorpio is good on literally any build because you can just stun lock enemies with all sorts of status effects. Otherwise, the other 4 best shotguns would be the Mop with 10% armor on kill, the Rock and Roll with Perfectly Extra, although it's a DZ exclusive, the Custom Inmate 70, and the Marine Super 90, and I always roll close and personal on those. And that's really it for the west side. Let's go check out what we got on the east side now. Alright agents, east side target loot highlights, starting off with the gear sets. We only got a couple, so Close Protocol at Air and Space Museum. I'll make sure to put my fire damage build in the top right. That is 4 pieces of Eclipse, and then the Imperial Dynasty holster, and 1 piece of Golon gear for an extra 10% status effects. Now of course I run that with the Chem Launcher, Fire Starter, and the Stinger Hive, the Pyromaniac with Perfectly Ignited, and the Capacitor. And then we got Hardwired at Southwest. Running Butcher did a great build where it's 4-piece Hardwired, 1 piece of China Light chest piece with Glass Cannon or Unbreakable on it, and the Vial Mask, running the Jammer Pulse and the Firefly. Now for normal targeted loot, let's go start off with Eligard or Jefferson Plaza for you shield build users, and then we got MMRs at Space Administration HQ. Now this one's definitely good if you want to farm for the Mantis. Now remember, the Nemesis is a quest only exotic, but the Mantis you could just straight up farm for. The Nemesis, I recommend checking out my website in the pinned comment video description below on a step-by-step guide on how to get it. Otherwise, I'd recommend the Ekim's Longstick with Perfect Ranger and the White Death. Those are 2 great named MMRs that drop outside of the Dark Zone. And then next up we got Douglas and Harding at Capitol Building. You could farm for the Punch Drunk Mask with 20% headshot damage baked into it, which is perfect for an all high-end headshot damage build, or if you're running like a pistol damage build. And then next up, Hana U at East Mall. Great place with 4 control points. You could farm the Force Multiplier Backpack with Perfect Combined Arms. That's going to give you 30% skill damage, but only for a short 3 seconds, so you always need to be shooting. Which is why I've become starting to like the Alp Summit Percussive Maintenance Backpack a lot more. I don't even really use this anymore. But if you want it, you can grab it here today, as well if you need extra credit chance at American History Museum for Seska. And then we got Assault Rifles at Viewpoint Museum. So you got 2 exotics, you got the Eagle Bear, which is the Dark Hours raid exclusive, but the 2 other ones is the Chameleon with Adaptive Instincts, which you could just straight up farm for, and the Capacitor, which you need to get from 5 Summit challenges first. Which you could do that on any difficulty, so keep that in mind as well. And then of course there's a bunch of recommended named ARs that are in the bottom left overlay. I highly recommend the Mechanical Animal, Future Perfection, the Burnout Name FAMAS, and the Test Subject. Those are 3 really good ones for sure, and the Rail Splitter is a DZ exclusive. And then we got holsters of Federal Triangle. You got 3 exotics here, the Waveform, which you unlock at Season 4 level 90, the Imperial Dynasty holster, and the Dodge City holster. Now the Dodge City holster is for pistol damage builds and headshot damage builds. The Imperial Dynasty holster is great for status effect builds like the Eclipse Protocol one. And then the Waveform is great for just pure skill damage like the turret and drone build. It alternates 33% skill damage from your left and right skills every 10 or 15 seconds. And then we got Grupo Sombro at Jefferson Trade Center. Remember, 1 piece for DPS builds where you want them all reds for that extra 15% crit hit damage, and 2 pieces for explosive skill damage builds, and you want them all yellows with like skill haste and skill damage. And last couple we got is Golon gear at Downtown East. You can get the Anarchist Cookbook with Perfect Wicked, giving you 18% weapon damage for 27 seconds upon applying a status effect, which is perfect for that ongoing directed bleed damage build I mentioned on the west side. And last but not least, we got Mass at District Union Arena. This is a Hyenas mission, just like, Jefferson Trade Center, so you have an increased chance of getting the Coyotes mask here. And then of course the other exotic is the Vial mask, but the Coyotes mask is more than likely to drop from here today if you run it on any difficulty. And then of course the Vial mask is great as well. And you can use the Demolitionist specialization as well to increase the debuffs damage on the Vial mask. And for the Coyotes mask, it's just great for DPS builds, especially in teams where only one person needs to be wearing it. And that's it for the Washington DC area. Let's go check out New York City last. Alright agents, last but not least, we're at New York City targeted loot highlights. And before I start with the gear sets, remember that we got submachine guns in the open world of NYC. So you want to farm open world NYC bosses in this area if you're looking for the Lady Death. That will greatly increase your chances of it dropping. So the other 2 exotics would be the Chatterbox and the Backfire. Those 2 you could just straight up farm for, the Backfire and the Lady Death, but the Chatterbox is a quest only, and if I have enough cards I'll put my guide in the top right. Otherwise, definitely, like always, visit my shadowgaming.network website to, see the step-by-step guide or video on it. And then of course, remember the Dark Winter and the Apartment are Dark Zone exclusives. Please do not farm for them outside of the Dark Zone. You could farm for named item caches, and named item rewards, but it's a DZ exclusive, so it's only going to drop from the DZs or from like a named item cache or named item reward. And then of course the named items, the named submachine guns you can get in the light zone would be the safety distance with perfect outsider, and then of course you can also get the grudge with perfect vindictive, and both of those are at vendors this week. Now back to the gear sets, we have Future Initiative at Wall Street. So this one is a chest and backpack raid exclusive for the Operation Iron Horse one. So keep that in mind when farming for it, and just get an Alp Summit chest piece with empathetic resolve and a safeguard backpack talent on like a Murakami backpack, and that's a great non-raid exclusive healer build. And then probably my favorite gear set at Liberty Island. So we got Hunter's Fury. So I already put my favorite Hunter's Fury build in the top right earlier, so I'll put another one up there if I have enough cards. So first off, you got 4-piece Hunter's Fury, the Death Grip gloves with 10% armor on kill, which you could farm the DZ West for today, and the Memento backpack. And I always run that with the Dark Winter, the Scorpio exotic shotgun, and the Orbit with perfect finisher. Now there's an alternative to that build, which is going to be a Sokolov chest with Obliterate, which is my favorite, or you can use Intimidate, Memento, 4-piece Hunter's Fury, and the same weapons. Now for normal targeted loot, back to it, we got Walker Harrison Code Financial District. You can farm the Chain Killer chest piece of Perfect Headhunter. That's going to deal 150% of your last killing blow straight to the head. It's basically mandatory for any headshot damage build, so definitely get that rolled with weapon damage and then headshot damage, and then either crit chance, crit damage, or weapon handling. And then we got light machine guns over here at Battery Park. There's two exotics, the Bullet King and the Pestilence. The Bullet King you never have to reload, and then the Pestilence you can get that damage tick to over 1,000,000 per tick. But always keep in mind that is based off weapon damage, not status effects. So an all red DPS build is what's gonna get you that over 1,000,000 damage per second, tick. And then of course there's a bunch of named LMGs in the bottom left overlay. I really like the new Reliable and the Good Times. The Black Friday with Perfect Unhinged is a DZ exclusive though, and then the Carnage is Perfect Sadist. And then we got Overlord at Pathway Park. That's where I would farm for the Fox's Pair knee pads today, and Murakami's great for that extended skill duration for turret and drone builds, but that's about it for New York City. Alright agents, well that was it for your daily farming guide for today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, consider pressing those subscribe and like buttons below, and if not, go ahead and give it a thumbs down. Always remember to check the video description and pinned comment below for links for my shadowgaming.network website with all sorts of guides and useful info and gear and weapon spreadsheets and all that good stuff. And then of course my Shadow Gaming merch store, my Discord server for LFG and just talking, my Shadow Crew clan on all platforms. Check all that stuff out, it's below. And of course, if you'd like to become a member of the channel, you can click the join button down below. It's really nice, the 5 members that I have. I really appreciate the extra support. It actually helps out a lot, so thank you guys. Anyway, take care guys, and be sure to stay tuned for more daily Division 2 content. This is Agent Shadow signing off. I will see you in the next video. Take care, agents.